67 years ago, Britain suffered its worst civilian incident of World War II.
A disaster all the worse for not being the work of the enemy. Arthur Smith meets some of the survivors of the Bethnal Green tube station tragedy.
You must remember that when them people died, they went down that tube thinking, I will be safe from the bombs.
The evening of March the 3rd, 1943, the middle of the war, the East End of London is relatively peaceful after the horrors of the Blitz.
My mother asked me to go to the cinema with her.
I was sitting round the wireless listening to the play.
A friend that I worked with, we were supposed to have met a sister's boyfriend in a cafe.
The cinemas, the cafes, the dance hall and the pubs were all busy.
All of a sudden, at 5 to 8, the radio went off.
The air raid sirens sounded and people began to make their way here to Bethnal Green tube station. Under construction at the start of the war, the station was regularly used during the Blitz as shelter for thousands of people.
My mother used to take me and my sister down to the tube station. My sister was expecting a baby. We used to sit down there making baby clothes.
But that night, Joan and her mother were in the cinema. They left immediately they heard the siren.
We nearly got to the station, and then all of a sudden, this awful noise of the guns.
People shouted out, there's bombs, get down, quick.
The entrance to the tube then was through a narrow doorway, and they found huge numbers of people pushing to get in.
And we just got carried in with the crowd. No way could you get out. We were trapped.
It is believed that a woman carrying a child slipped and fell here at the bottom of the stairs. This stair rail didn't exist then, and you can imagine with hundreds of people pushing down, when one fell, others followed.
There was such a pressure behind us. We were taken off our feet into the shelter. Where I landed, I don't know.
I tried to claw myself out, to pull myself out, but I couldn't move.
And I saw my mother's head drop, and I thought she'd fainted. I just tried to get my lips to her, thinking I could breathe air into her, but I couldn't.
The lady air raid warden, Mrs. Chumley, she laid on what must have been bodies, must have been. She went like that, and she grabbed me, she went like that. Mrs. Chumley, thank you for saving my life.
Even now, I'm in bed and I'm struggling to get up. I can't move. And it goes on until I absolutely wake myself up, and then that stops.
173 people died that night, many of them children. All of them suffocated in just seconds. This was a terrible tragedy. And ironically, there was no enemy attack. They were our guns firing. They were new anti-aircraft rockets that had an unfamiliar sound. At first, the incident was completely covered up so as not to damage morale. Later, an inquiry was held in secret and the results published at the end of the war.
These people all died. What for? Nothing.
My mother was dead, and I often wonder how ever I escaped from it. Why did she have to go? It's a terrible scar that's in your mind that is always with you.
Despite the number of people who lost their lives that night, all there is to commemorate the tragedy is this discreet little plaque.
The people who lost their lives, they should have a proper memorial. We even today are still putting wreaths on railings. We shouldn't be doing that.
There'll be a memorial service at 2 p.m. this Sunday at St John's on Bethnal Green Church, and you can find out more information on our website as well.
Sharon, your two